Hi everybody, it's time for the Giants Roundup for March 10th. The Giants won again. They remain as hot as any team in the Cactus League. They're now 7-1 after a 5-1 victory over the Chicago Cubs here today, and that leads to more cries of they're 7 and Wotus because their only losses come with bench coach Ron Wotus leading the split squad at Milwaukee on Saturday. So Bruce Bochy still hasn't lost a game as a manager, and this one went pretty easy. The pitching was great, and they got one big hit. That was a grand slam from Pablo Sandoval, and that came off of Carlos Zambrano. They two grow up in the same town in Carabobo, Venezuela, so it was definitely a fun moment. And we talked to Zambrano after the game, and he's known Pablo since he was a little 7-year-old kid. So some good stuff on that, and we got a feature in tomorrow's newspaper. Should be posted later tonight, so definitely look for that. That should bring a smile to your face. But again, the Giants are playing crisp ball. They're getting good pitching. Jonathan Sanchez looked really good, had a better control of his split, which he's going to start throwing more often, and his slider, of course. And Ryan Theriot led off the game with a single, and he picked him off. That's something we haven't seen from Sanchez. He hasn't really shown a lot of interest in the past about holding runners or fielding his position, all those other things that have gone along with being a good pitcher, being attendant to your position. And it really seems like he's a lot more focused on that these days. He worked with his pickoff move with Dave Righetti last year and just wants to keep guys closer to the base and keep them honest. He's a lefty. He should have that advantage, and he hasn't in the past. So I think that just sort of shows Jonathan's dedication a little bit more, and that could only lead to good things as he looks to become the consistent and talented pitcher that everybody knows he could be. Certainly could be probably have the most raw talent of any number 4 starter you could think of in the major leagues. So a good outing for him. Really all the relievers looked good, all the pitching looked good. Pablo Sandoval, in addition to his grand slam, made a nice play at third base, sort of a sliding stop on one knee and then through to second for the force. That was a nice play there. Nate Schierholtz returned to the lineup after missing a couple games with the bruised knee, and he looked okay out there. Aubrey Huff is back in the lineup. And one of the things that Bruce Bochy really credits this hot spring to is the fact that the young players in camp have played so well, and they've really been playing half the games. And it has struck me as well, watching guys like Brandon Crawford and Roger Kieschnick, Thomas Neal. Some of these guys have made some big plays to win games, and more than anything, they're in big league camp for the first time, and they don't really look intimidated by the atmosphere. They don't look cocky either. They just look like they belong, and they're very self-assured, and you can really sense something is building in the Giants organization that can only mean good things. Now, we all know spring training records don't mean a whole lot, especially because a lot of the regulars haven't played together, but Bruce Bochy says he should be able to get some semblance of a regular lineup out there by this weekend. Mark DeRosa did not play today. That was planned after he made his debut yesterday, but he'll be back out there tomorrow. Let's see who else. Schierholtz is back in there again now. Edgar Renteria was off today, but he'll be back in there. So they should get most of the regulars in there pretty quickly. Aubrey Huff returned to the lineup after missing a couple days with a food poisoning illness. He looked a little bit stronger. So all in all, a pretty clean game. Not a whole lot to discuss out of it. Waldis Joaquin had a nice 9th inning after having a rocky appearance earlier in the spring. We do have a couple injury updates. Check for the notebook. That'll be posted a little bit later. It'll lead off with, just in general, some of the comments I've made here and discussing that a little more in depth with how they've done overall this spring. But you'll find a second note on Joe Martinez. There's going to be a health update in there on him, so look for that. And other than that, not a heck of a lot to report. Oh, Travis Ishikawa, he stretched with the team for the first time and did some light jogging, was fine. So they'll continue to ramp up his activity as he comes back from that ligament issue in his toe. So that's pretty much it for today from Hohokam Park in Mesa. We invite you to tune in tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in.